Hey guys, welcome to Guitar Starter Kit Episode 1. For this first episode, we're going to be talking about your form and how to hold the guitar. So first off, if you look at the guitar, you'll see there's a curve at the bottom, and that's where you rest it on your leg. When you rest it down, you got to make sure it's going straight up. It's tempting to tilt it over like this so you can see what's going on over here, but that's going to really hurt your wrist, and you just can't move around your hand. So you keep the guitar going straight up, and then with your strumming hand, you rest your forearm right on the top of the guitar. It's usually right where your forearm meets your elbow. And now what you do is you rest your wrist straight onto the bridge, right before the strings start, so right here. Rest that here, and then make sure your palm isn't touching the strings. So if your palms are touching the strings, it sounds like this. You can tell it gets muted sometimes. But if it's not touching the strings, you'll see it's a nice open sound. So that's everything for the strumming hand. Now for the playing hand over here, you start by putting your thumb in the right place. So for your thumb, I'll tilt the guitar like this so you can see what's going on. You want to press your thumb right on the back of the neck like this, and it should be diagonal so it's pointing up towards the end. I'm going to keep it in place and make sure that it doesn't curl over while you're playing, like this. I'm going to keep back here. The main reason it's important to keep your thumb from curling over the guitar like this is then your fingers will start getting flat when you play. You want the pads of your fingertips to be pressing straight onto the strings. If it's flat, then you lose all the accuracy. So make sure you have a C shape when you play. And so, I'll tilt it like this so you can see, you want there to be a curve while you play, so you're pressing directly down, and you don't want your palm to be resting on the neck like this. Always a little bit of space. So now that we got all that, you should know how to hold the guitar in place. And to make sure you keep that good form and make some good habits, we'll do some strumming exercises. So the way I was taught to hold a pick is you curve your index finger, not tight like this, but just so it's pointing down. And then you rest your pick right on the side of your finger like this, pointing out, and then you go and put your thumb facing parallel with the pointy end of the pick. And then you make sure you keep these three fingers loose like this, not tight like this. So I won't be getting into too much detail with strumming, that's going to be for next week's episode, but I will show you the basics. So there are downstrokes and there are upstrokes. It all depends on where you're pointing afterwards. For homework before next week's lesson, you're just going to do some simple strumming exercises. So we'll do 4 pairs of down-up on each string. We'll start with the lowest string called low E. And while you're playing, make sure your fingers are loose and your palm isn't touching the strings. So we'll start with down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And while you play, make sure the string is constantly making sound. If it ever cuts short like this, that means your palm touched it. Next we'll do the A string. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Now I'll move on to D. Next one is G. The next one is B. And now E. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Please check in next week for episode 2, all about strumming patterns. And subscribe for more guitar lessons and covers that we put out every week. Alright, thanks guys.
Tips and tricks at Musician Starter Kit.